Hello, and welcome back to Psycho-Synopsis. I am Master of the TDS, and I am joined by my lovely wife,
WritingRaven.
It is time to jump into the topics that we have from this week.
Let's go. Let's see. First up is Helldivers. Oh crap. What do we do? Those guys are crazy.
Greetings, citizen of Super Earth. Do you have a moment to talk about liberty?
This really isn't the place for that. Are you here for therapy, sir?
Might as well be. My player hasn't been able to log in a week. Something about trying to link his account to a PlayStation account that he didn't have. It's terrible. We've gone days without spreading democracy. Days, I tell you. Do you have any idea what happens to us Helldivers when we don't spread democracy? Curse those automatons!
Okay. If you'll just come with me, we can help you vent some of that anger.
You can? Great! For democracy!
You're going to have to leave your weapon in the waiting room. There's no spreading democracy during a therapy session.
Aw.
PC Helldivers 2 players are upset about needing a linked PSN account on Steam starting June 4th, which has led to negative reviews, while Arrowhead CEO Johan Pilestead directs inquiries to PlayStation support.
And it has only gotten worse over the weekend.
So there's a bunch we want to cover here, but let's get into the meat of this. Let's explain. So this game was marketed originally with the idea that you would have to make a PlayStation account. However, because of an error with the connection of the accounts,
originally, it showed the option to skip linking to the PlayStation account, which made it accessible to everyone on PC.
Now, you could argue that it still did say that you would need a PlayStation account to log in, but it wasn't very well shown, and after the first time of logging in, after you skipped it, it never brought up the prompt again.
Exactly. So all of a sudden, people having to create PlayStation accounts just so they can play a game they like is really making people mad, and I do not blame them.
I think the biggest issue here is that a lot of people are saying it's not a big deal, and I kind of agree. However, I think that if you're going to market something a certain way, and you're going to say it's going to be like this, and then you're going to say, oh, well, you have to link a PlayStation account, but you're not really going to make it obvious or make updates. Like, if I was going to have this be a thing and it gave you this option to skip, if it went to go skip, I would have it pop up with a message that says, this will be mandatory at blah, blah, blah. They didn't do that. So it's definitely on them to some degree.
Absolutely. In some countries that don't have PlayStation Network access, the game is no longer available for sale there.
That's actually what they've been doing for damage control, and Johan Pilestead has come out and said a couple different things since then, but I wanted to take some time for this video to address something that I think is important.
Please do.
So, you guys may know of a streamer called Asmongold. He apparently did a video on the Helldivers thing, and he ended up covering a post that I had found that appeared to be a bot trying to, make the PlayStation requirement look more legitimate. And Grums quote tweeted it and whatever. He got very upset because, in his words, I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to bots, and that I shouldn't be doing this, and I'm insinuating that it's Sony, which I went out of my way specifically not to do.
Yeah, you specifically said, is it, not it is. There is a big difference.
And I was asking a question, but he went to his YouTube comments to prove that I was wrong, and I wanted to take a minute to address this because, look, I don't know Asmongold that well, and I'm not going to pretend that I do. What I am going to say is this. I have been doing extensive research on this. I don't know if Asmongold is watching or someone wants to link him. I have node maps that show that this is not just some random reply spam bots. I understand why you might think that. But the important thing to point out here is, as you could see in this image, I am showing specifically accounts with a blue check mark, meaning that somebody is paying for these accounts. Now, you could argue it wasn't all of them, whatever. That's a side point. But what I want to make very clear is I don't really think you have the full story here, Asmongold, and I'm more than happy to speak with you about it, either offline or online. It's up to you. But I really have been doing my due diligence, and so I think that maybe you should need to kind of reevaluate that going forward.
I can say something meaner, but I'm not going to for your sake.
Like I said, nothing against him, don't really know him very well, but I did want to make that clear that he doesn't know the full story, and I'm happy to chat if he'd like to and go into detail more. There's a lot more going on here than he seems to be aware of.
Seriously. Doctor Who again? Oh boy, here we go.
Oi! Is this the Diversity Recruitment Office?
Russell T. Davies? What are you doing here?
I've come to make your therapy office more inclusive and diverse, just like I did for Doctor Who. All those changes are perfect. The show is more diverse than ever.
It was diverse before you did that.
No, it was not.
There was an interspecies lesbian couple and Shakespeare flirted with men.
That wasn't enough. No one can see themselves as a lizard person unless, of course, you're secretly a government official. But we needed even more diversity.
Yeah, you definitely have a screw or two loose. Follow me, sir.
You'd better not be using a sonic screwdriver to tighten those screws. They look like guns. Guns, I tell you!
Doctor Who showrunner Russell T. Davies redesigned the sonic screwdriver to resemble a remote control or flip phone because he was concerned that its original appearance looked too much like a gun and could encourage children to pretend to shoot at one another.
That is just so dumb, and that's the nicest thing I can say.
RTD, since he came back, has been making some very controversial decisions for numerous reasons, like removing Davros from the wheelchair, changing the regeneration so it was a bi-generation, all this stuff.
Bi-generation is stupid!
Exactly. You don't need to do this. Now, when it comes to the sonic screwdriver being a gun,
it was never a gun. The whole reason the Doctor was given a screwdriver was his weapon allowed him to fix things, not destroy things. Not to mention he also has two hearts so he can empathize more.
And again, kids will be kids. You give them a flip phone remote thing, they can still think of that as a gun.
You give kids a stick and they pretend it's a sword. Hell, I pick up a stick and I pretend it's a sword, and I'm 28.
Yeah, that might not be something you want to admit on
Plenty of
video.
men in their 30s are going to admit it too in the comments. Just watch.
Except they'll actually have real swords, not sticks.
Watch, I'm going to be right. They're going to claim they pretend sticks are swords.
Whatever. Besides that, Ncuti Gatwa has been a freak. I'm saying that in a very blunt way, but I'm not intending any disrespect towards him. But his attitude towards the show and towards the people who are criticizing him has not been good. He wants to twerk a monster to death, and he also recently said that anybody who doesn't like him need to go outside and touch grass and turn off the show.
I don't... Why do they always go to the touch grass excuse?
Because they make it, they think that if somebody has that kind of criticism, that it means they don't get out much. And I feel like that's disingenuous. But look, if I had something to say to Ncuti, I'd say this. You have the right attitude to be the Doctor. The problem is you're acting like yourself as the Doctor. And that's not what you're supposed to do. Each actor brings a little bit of them into the role, and the Doctor changes and matures based on the actions and things in the series.
That's true.
You have the energy, the right energy for that. But when you're coming in already with both like guns blazing to attack fans and telling us to turn off the thing, most people are going to listen to you.
Yes, so we are in fact going to be turning off the TV, and your viewership will go down significantly.
Not just that, but I have heard this, and again, we cannot confirm this. This is not confirmed, okay? But apparently, the first episode of the new season is going to be a pro-abortion stories with space babies.
So we aren't going to go into any of our opinions on that stuff. You can believe what you want to believe. We can believe what we want to believe. That's not the point of this.
Exactly. We're not trying to get political here. It's not our place. But
the point is, why? If there are babies, the Doctor's whole character would be about saving the babies. I don't understand this.
I don't understand why you even have to do this. Again, messaging is okay. Heavy-handed messaging is not good. Unless you're trying to force this stuff in that was already there. It worked organically before because it was executed organically, and you're not doing that here. Come on.
You guys are dumb.
Take your sonic screwdriver and screw in those screws you have loose.
Tightly.
And maybe if you're lucky, you could still rectify some of what you've done here. I think it's too far gone.
You think? And lastly, should be some movies from the past year.
Ha! Stop right there.
What are you doing here?
I'm a mouse. Doors can't stop me.
Damn it, what do you want?
I'm here to tell you that if you two don't stop bashing my company, our products, and potentially exposing our bot uses on social media, I will have my henchmen come to your door and, well, let's just say I can use some Disney magic to pull some strings and make your channel disappear!
You already got our channel deboosted.
Allegedly, meaning you can't prove it. Now, be good little consumers, and if you're well behaved, maybe we can make a deal. I can give you some cheddar.
We're lactose intolerant. Plus, Master is allergic to animal fur, so I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
You haven't heard the last of me, to quote an amazing Disney sequel that was universally loved and there is absolutely no hate for online. No one is ever really gone. Also, I disliked your video on the way out. Later, losers! Disney's The Marvels and other films faced significant losses in Deadline's 2023 Most Valuable Blockbuster Tournament, with The Marvels leading at a net loss of $237 million, which was attributed to the actors' strike and Disney Plus integration challenges.
Wah, wah.
So let's right off the bat. No, the Disney Plus integration and the strikes was not enough of an excuse.
Nope.
The Marvels had a $237 million loss.
The Flash had $155 million.
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny had a $143 million loss.
Wish was $131 million, and Haunted Mansion was $117 million lost.
4 of those movies are Disney movies, except for The Flash, which, let's be fair, many people didn't watch The Flash to begin with.
Yeah, no one wanted to.
Now, let's address why this is. They keep saying the strikes, the Disney Plus integration. Let's be blunt.
The movies aren't good. That's why they lost money. I literally, last week, overheard someone in a public bathroom say that she turned off The Marvels halfway through because it was bad. I say again, someone who looked like the target audience said the movie was bad.
Exactly. But you see, if you do that, then you get excluded. You see, they're saying, well, it's not for you, it's not whatever. But then when the target audience speaks up, suddenly it's not for them either. You can't have it both ways.
Yeah, what he said.
The strikes are not an excuse. Yes, the strikes did make things difficult, and we acknowledge that.
Yes, we do, but they also didn't really accomplish much.
No, they did. They did get a deal for it. And again, I do think some of the things they were striking for made sense, like with the AI and stuff like that.
Okay, fair.
But stop blaming everyone and everything else for your problems. It's okay to recognize that your movies haven't been doing well. It's okay to take feedback from that and not just blame anybody who says such a thing as a incel bigot chud.
Yeah, seriously, just acknowledge and accept that you guys suck and you're doing terribly and make some changes to do better.
Now, Deadpool and Wolverine is coming out.
People are going to show up just to see Hugh Jackman in the yellow Wolverine costume. I guarantee it.
I think that movie's going to do well. Yeah, I agree. But I don't think it's going to be enough to save the MCU because it's all over the place. If it's not for the fact of the movies and whatever's doing badly, Jonathan Majors and the problems with him and him being the main villain and all this stuff, like, it's a mess. Just stop, take a year or two off, and then restart with Fantastic Four.
I find your idea of making the Deadpool 3 movie, Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, as the perfect reset for the entire MCU, because that would actually make sense, but because it makes sense, it's not going to happen.
Because it would mean that they had to still admit that they were wrong. The problem here is they don't admit that they're wrong. They can't do it.
True, and they would also have to have Deadpool coming out of the movie to kill everyone at Marvel Studios, which would be awesome if that could actually happen.
In Minecraft. Anyways, like, it can admit it's bad. If you won't admit it, you're just going to keep making the same mistakes and you'll continue to fail.
Please, please, fail more. Show us how much we are right and you are wrong, and continue losing money, please.
And give us more content to talk about and laugh at, because that's what we're going to do here.
Oh, yes.
Russell? Is that you? I see you behind that magazine over there.
Ah, Vicky? Oh, sir, what a what a pleasant surprise to see you here.
What are you doing here, Russell?
Oh, I definitely wasn't here for therapy, if that's what you're thinking. Haha, that would be super hypocritical of me, and would not be becoming of someone in a position such as my own.
I'm not happy, Russell. Not happy.
But you should be happy. Our new Doctor Who is going to be the most diverse and inclusive one yet. It's going to blow you away, sir. I promise.
I don't know. I'm starting to doubt your leadership. Maybe we need to go and visit the board and have another vote.
I was coming here to get my gun, and I heard someone mention a vote. Are we spreading democracy?
Russell, what is that?
I believe it's a Helldiver.
Do we own them?
No, I don't believe we do.
Ha! You make me laugh. We, Helldivers, as I said, are a democracy. You can't own us. For Super Earth!
Get out of here, Russell. Don't let me catch you here again.
Right away, sir.
Hello, Bob. It's me. We have another franchise to acquire.
And now it is time for the diagnosis of the week.
Where we diagnose the week with a mental illness.
Because someone has to.
And we have an interesting diagnosis for you this week.
Do tell.
So the diagnosis for this week is Martyr complex.
Please explain.
So Martyr complex, also known as victim complex, is a psychological term used to describe individuals who tend to seek out or exaggerate feelings of persecution, suffering, or victimization. These individuals often perceive themselves as victims even in situations where they're not, and they may use this perception to gain attention, sympathy, or control over others. This is likely emerged within the field of psychology and psychoanalysis over time as a way to describe and understand certain patterns of behavior related to attention-seeking and control through a perceived sense of victimization.
In relation with today's topics, with Helldivers 2, Arrowhead Studios appears to exhibit a martyr complex, portraying themselves as victims of player dissatisfaction rather than fully acknowledging their errors, suggesting a desire to be viewed as martyrs in the situation.
With Doctor Who, showrunner Russell T Davies' reluctance to take responsibility for criticism and his tendency to blame fans could suggest a martyr complex, as he may perceive himself and the show as victims of unjust criticism rather than considering valid feedback.
And with the Disney 2023 box office, Disney's response to their film's underperformance suggests a potential martyr complex, as they portray themselves as victims of circumstances rather than fully addressing potential issues with their content or strategies, possibly seeking sympathy or portraying themselves as martyrs in the face of criticism.
Now, I have to acknowledge, Arrowhead and studios has come out and said that that they acknowledge their fault in this, and I hope that things do work out well for them in the end. The game is pretty good from what I've heard. Regardless, we have this tendency in Hollywood where all these people make themselves out to be the victims when everything goes wrong. It's never them that's the problem. It's always they are the victim and you are the aggressor. So it doesn't matter if you have valid feedback, you're bad. So if you say something and you have valid criticism, but one person sends a death threat or one jerk does this, suddenly everybody's bad and they're the victims. And they do this to shield themselves from criticism. And until they can learn to accept the fact that, yes, there are some jerks, but a lot of people just have valid criticism, and criticism means they want things to get better. Until they can accept that, we'll continue to see this pattern. And that's why I feel this is a great diagnosis for this week.
I agree.
That is all we have for this week. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and also make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe with notifications on so you do not miss your weekly therapy session.
Or you will be charged. So smash those buttons like they're bad kitties, and we'll see you in the next one.
Gothic Therapy out.